December and January are the slowest months for home sales. So, data collected by Trading Economics is consistently reflective of this. But interestingly enough, the lowest dips in 23, 24, the fall months from October and September, respectively, show that tapering off right before you get to the holiday season. So, while December and January are still slow overall, it still shows that factors like high mortgage rates and increased prices can ultimately impact this long standing trend. Lower home prices. The winter months are typically when the home prices are also the lowest. Apart from the holiday celebrations keeping people too busy to house hunt, the cold weather in a lot of states is going to keep a lot of potential home buyers indoors. And although most of our clientele that are shopping online, the same priceless data that I talked to you above is going to show the lowest median pricing is going to do its biggest drops during that particular time of the year, picking right back up to the highest median when you want to be able to sell it quickly, fastly. Higher median days on the market. If you want to sell your house fastest, January and February are the worst months to sell your home. With the new year starting, work obligations picks up after the holidays, continuing cold weather in most of the states. There is a lower sense of urgency for people to get out for real estate transactions. This is going to result in that longer time on the market. And again, it's not anomalous. This has been happening for at least 10 years. So anything past that is going to be, for obvious reasons, statistically correct. You just need to make sure that you're watching your long term data. The above mentioned Redfin stats that I talked about are the easiest for you to pick up as a public anomalous, and it's going to set this and support it for you. 2023 of February had the highest days on the market, while 2024 and 2025 showed January to be the highest at almost 60 days, respectively. Not a bad time period if you understand the timing of when you need to sell your home. Where this becomes a critical period is for your clients that have a very specific need that I have been transferred for my job. I must move immediately. I cannot have this home while I am buying another one in another state, forcing the story behind why they need to sell at a more rapid pace. And sometimes that means you don't have the negotiating runway that you typically would want. So it's going to charge you in in your speed and your necessity, meaning you're going to lose some negotiating power because you don't have the additional 30 days to jack around with negotiations. Pros and cons of selling a home in each season. Different months of the year and seasons, winter to summer, often present a less than optimal selling condition. When you are considering selling a property, I need you to keep in mind some of the following general tips. Some pros and cons of selling during all four seasons are there. Let's since we're busy talking about the slowest, let's talk about winter first, December to March. Big pros: there's less competition. Homebuyers are motivated to capture tax benefits before buying a home at the end of the year timeframe. Buyers are commonly more motivated to cooperate in their negotiation strategy. Cons: selling points are lower. Buyers have delays in getting finance finalized because of vacations, holidays, simply being away from work. The people that they need to get the important paper from at their jobs are also not available. They're on vacations. And then scheduling viewings are always difficult during the holidays, either for you to be able to view the home or for the sellers to be available because they typically have people in town. In Florida, that's a big hook. Springtime. Springtime's you got some great pros. This is the swing. Homes are going to be sold at a higher price. There's more potential buyers in the hunt. The maximum curb appeal with the moderate temperatures. Yards look better. Flowers are out. Trees are blooming. Things are looking good. Less rain. Inclement weather is not a problem. You're not in hurricane season in Florida. These are all things that make a big difference and a big positive swing for you when selling the homes. Cons: high level of competition. That means everybody's out looking for a house during this time. It is the busiest time of the year for new listings. And as there are more options available, buyers can afford to be pickier, which means that agents, you have a responsibility to coach your sellers into making their home at the highest level of curb appeal probable. Not just awesome pictures online, but when someone drives by that property and sees that beautiful Keystone sign sitting out in front of the property, it should also be an attractive home that they actually want to come into. They can see themselves living there and in that community before ever setting the appointment. Let's talk about summertime, June through September. Homes are presented at their best lighting. This is the best time for pictures. If you're going to be marketing a home even towards the end of the year, get your pictures now. This is the time you want to do that. There's a higher number of home buyers on the market here at the summertime because kids are out of school, families are out shopping, vacations for the summertime have kicked back off, and there's plenty of houses to choose from, which means selling prices are also typically a little higher. But the competition still remains high from the swing time. We are in the full arc at this point. Higher temperatures and traveling during this time is a little more complicated. It makes it harder to do. Your out of town buyers are going to pay the highest prices for airline flights out of the rest of the year. These are all things that you need to pay attention to. House showing expenses will be higher. Air conditioners are going to be running, keeping those yards and the sprinklers going. It's all going to drive utilities up. Something that if it's an available home that no one lives in while you're selling it, people are going to be discouraged about consistently keeping the air perfect and keeping the yard perfect. Fall, you can finally get at things to slow down a little bit. Less inventory, less competition. Home features are going to show very well. The colorful leaves, the fall decors, the seasonal flowers can enhance some of the home's appearances, but you're going to need to work to add some color yourself. These things aren't going to handle themselves appropriately. Selling points are going to be lower. Home buyers' demand is going to start slowing down, and the holidays during the fall absolutely limits mover availability. So it is very difficult for someone to sell a home and move out of their home during that season. Worse, you're going to get pressures from the buyers who want to move in during the holidays and they want to have the house theirs and settled and have made it their own before families start diving in for the Christmas season. So, what's the best month to sell a house? Statistically, numbers only. Best month to sell a house is June. When buyer demand is at its peak, home prices are at their highest. Sellers should be using this timing to attract as many offers as possible and close better deals. It will be easier for them to sell a house because everyone is having this ease of motion. However, it will still absolutely vary depending on the city, the state, the weather, the market conditions, and how those things happen. Again, these are national stats. In Florida, you couldn't ask for a better example. June, July, August are crushing it. We love this time of the year in Florida. We've got maximum amounts of potential buyers that are in the area. They're all here on vacation anyway. Why shouldn't they check out a couple of houses and enhance their experience by saying, we could move here? Which months sell the most houses? According to the Redfin data, June is also typically the month that has the highest number of houses sold. The number is driven by interest, it's need to close. They want to make sure that they're in the houses before the summer vacations end, and they want to get in place before the school season begins. Which means that you're probably asking me now, as we're coming to the bottom of the hour, is 2026 going to be a good year for me to sell a house? Yes. Absolutely. 2026 is going to be a phenomenal year to sell your property. Given the current trends, providing that you have the right strategy and you're listing your house wisely, if you are represented by a strong and seasoned agent or a brand new, very hungry agent that understands what's necessary in the marketing and the strategies that are out there today, as agents, you need to make sure that they're staying informed. They understand what's happening with the interest rates, what's happening with the current administration versus the feds. All of that turmoil is going to create opportunity. Seize it. Regardless of which side of the fence you sit on politically, this is about money and this is about opportunity for your sellers and for your buyers and for you as agents. Because if you don't sell homes, you don't exist as a real estate agent. While you cannot predict whether mortgage rates are going to go down or not, you truly can't. People are always going to need a place to live, and that you can predict. So, agents, focus on the right house for your buyers and let the numbers work themselves. This is about keeping your pipeline full so that regardless of the time of the year, you always have closings, you always have new clients. So, if one client's taking 6 months while another client's taking 6 weeks, it balances. Don't struggle, don't stress yourself. Know how to budget correctly and be able to take care of your business while you're taking care of your clients. In closing, if you're looking to sell a property, timing is everything, almost as important as location. The best and worst months to sell a house will depend on all of the seasonal trends that affect home sale prices. If you're going to go by statistics, and we are a numbers firm here at Keystone, it is best to sell a house during late spring to late summer, April to October. You can't beat the game. Hello, baseball. Meanwhile, worst months to sell a house are going to be November through March, during the fall to the winter months. Potential buyers are going to be preoccupied with the holidays, and that is going to affect the timing of your sales. Sellers should expect lower sales prices and higher days on the market during those months. Make sure you're educating and you're building a strategy around the seasonal aspects of your industry. I want to thank everybody for joining us today.